Hello there, greetings and salutations to you all. Wednesday, it's the hump day for most of us in the world, and I'm here with you. And we've got the Falkenstein battle fleet capital ship, I should say, for dystopian wars. I did start on this last night, and hopefully getting on with some more of it there. That's the plan, at least. Anyway, that's the wrong one. That's the right one. So that is the Falkenstein. You can see right there. So little airplanes, little runway, some missile-y thingies. So the only bit that's stuck in is this bit at the moment. So we'll be continuing with that basically. So I have been suffering with a bit of a cold from Monday, and yeah, it's just dealing with it as best one can, really. Apart from that, how is everybody? What have you been up to in the world of tomorrow? Deciding upon colours. So I want to do something a little bit different with that. We do also have, within easy reach, the chill, which is what I was painting the other day. Not on stream. I don't start painting this Monday. Yeah, so anyway, on paint. So I want this under part to be a different colour from the top part. So so yes, this is happy Valentine's everyone as well. I'm going to give this my best go because, as I said, not been in the greatest, and I'm craving painting, but obviously the body is fighting as best it can. Nice. So I wanted to get that to be a little bit different colour to the actual main hull, because it's sort of out of sight, out of mind in a way. So I just wanted to get that darker as such. So I feel this might have to be darker as well. Right, sorry, that's having to do. Sorry. Hey, hello Kenneth. Sorry about that. I've it's been a very busy couple of days, and as you can probably tell, I'm a little bit voice is a little bit out because of having a bit of a cold and stuff. But I said last week I would be here Wednesday, and by jingo, I am here. How long, I don't know. Because, yeah, it's when you're not feeling comfortable about your own skin, that's when it gets interesting. But yes, I've been getting a lot of messages today. Oh, okay. Yeah. So it's work related, so I have to deal with it. Sorry. So yeah, sorry, where was it? Unbox everything. Oh, hello, unbox everything. How are you? Um, so which fleet are these ships for? Well, these ones are the Imperium. So basically Germans, Prussians, Scandinavians are in there as well. Um, Bavarians, I believe, as well. It's another faction. So they do have quite quite good all round um, ships and weapon systems in particular. Um, very like um, very good anti-aircraft as well with their ships capability. From what I understand, pardon me. I said my Scandinavians are can be used as a mercenary force or as part of the Imperium, and they're slightly different, but they do have some of the same technology. So you do get that in these sub factions. You'll always have like main weapons in general are sort of across the board. Um, so it does give you a good sort of balance because you know what you're dealing with if you do different ships. So like certain ships like this, you can obviously swap in, swap out weapons. So these like anti-aircraft, veiling weaponries. So you get a high amount of shots as well. But it's also aircraft carriers. So it's a light carrier. They call it, Falkenstein. So here's some of the sort of other weapon options you can stick in there as well. So you've got your rockets, so they're anti-aircraft, big berthers, and small and medium-sized berthers, like I imagine. So these obviously can be magnetised in on that plate, or you can just swap in alternate weaponry like that. The only weapons that seem to be fixed are the missile pods on the side, and these are their broadsides. They've generally got fairly good stats. Can be quite nippy, but yeah, they've got some stuff on them. For instance, the tournament that I participated in December, out of the amount of people there, like, admittedly, I was using Scandinavians, but I wasn't using them as Imperium, I was using them as Science. So that makes me instantly better. But there were two other players who were playing Imperium, and there was one who was Commonwealth, which is basically the Russian side of things. So they are a very popular army or faction, and they do have good stuff. So that adds to their popularity somewhat. So, but as I said, this was a review kit that was sent out to us, and I may have been distracted because of Legions Imperialis sneaking in. So I thought I'd best do it. Rude otherwise. Are you hobbying tonight at all? Sorry about that. It was sniffles. What colour did I do this? Oh, that one. Not today for me. Oh, dude. I should be working on some of the First Legion, but meh. It's hump day, isn't it? It's proper hump day. So we're all midweek, meh. You know, I feel meh anyway because of not feeling well. My croakiness. I'm so croaky. I'm like croaky son. Oh dear. But yeah, it's speeding through. Yeah, the thing that I posted was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. The Cheon. That's from a different faction. That is the Enlightened Beachhead Flu. Yeah, well, I don't think anyone else I know has got it, but maybe. Oh, I may. I do know. I was back in work on Sunday, and it was colder than I expected. Then Monday was much of the same, and Monday was when I started to feel a little bit more rougher. So I may have just like caught a chill because of the sudden change in temperature again, and being ill prepared for it, which is not what you want to be doing. You see the new trailer for Deadpool 3. Apparently, it's like breaking records of being like the most viewed trailer in trailer history already. So, definitely looking forward to seeing that when that drops. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I loved it. It was fun spotting all the little Easter eggs. Marvel Jesus. But yeah, it is definitely something I'm looking forward to for when it drops. We've obviously got only a matter of weeks, June Part 2 popping up, so that's going to also be awesome. Although I haven't booked tickets as of yet, so something I will be looking into seeing as soon as humanly possible. I saw a rumour about Daniel Radcliffe. Well, with that, because there's a lot of people putting him forward to take the role of Wolverine. Because I'm not sure if it was Guns Akimbo or something. He's worked out and he's buffed up, and I know he's like he's not he's Harry Potter, but you see these pictures of him and he's like proper jacked, and you're going, you know what? I could see it. Give him some mutton chops and let him loose. So who knows? could there be other variants of Wolverine in the Wasteland where the variants? Yeah, well, that's the thing, because you got the was it the TVA or whatever it is from Loki involved in it. So there is obviously possibilities there galore for variants of Wolverines, which would be interesting, because obviously we all know that from the last film, a certain Mr. Deadpool was going around altering the timelines. So definitely something could be happening there. It'd be interesting to see, though, for sure. Hey, Mac. How are you, buddy? What are you up to tonight? Anything salacious and gooey? On a night haunt spree. I've wanted some of the character kits and just bit the bullet. That's it. I just give up. I'm investing in night gaunts. Keeps reminding me. I haven't actually just reminded me just about the Deadpool thing. I wrote myself really. It was like rambling through my fevered dream existence. Because I haven't finished Loki, so maybe I should. Maybe I should get onto that. Get onto that shit. Alright. Brain. Brain work. Brain work. think I went over this and slightly more watered down. I should have. The first thing you've got to do with these is include the wood. And that's a bit of wood. Got a another Dystopian Wars campaign day in March up at Wayland, so I've got that to look forward to. Apples. 2 sets. I'm going Crown. Although, because they're updating all the Orbats at the moment, so with that, they could change a little. Because they've recently, where they've included the new sub faction for the Crown, the Raj, the Indian Raj, and to a certain extent the East India Company, because there's a sub faction within a sub faction. So they've got different sort of they've changed the torpedoes primarily. Now, Crown have good torpedo game, apparently, but they've changed it. So the newer torpedoes, so you've got different grades. You've got heavy torpedoes, which are like the big hitters. They're like ones that you see on the big capital ships. So they're like lots of dice, extreme range. They've now brought out swift torpedoes. They don't have extreme range, and what you can do with this game is you have the ability, if it's the same weapon system, you can add it to the lead value of the first weapon. So I'm going to get this Ganges out. So on the Ganges, you've got these majestic, and they are called majestic gun batteries. So they're different from the heavy gun batteries, in fact that they've got bigger barrels. These have extreme range as well, so they go to maximum range, which is up to 40 inches. But what you would do, you would look at, if there was a target at extreme range, these have quite a high dice even at extreme range. They suffer more up close, so like slightly less dice for like point blank, but it's marginal because at extreme range and long range and closing, you have respectable dice pool. So what you can do, so at extreme range, this will have like 9 dice, and what you can do, sorry, cold. What you can do is add this cannon to it, but at a lesser amount. So I believe at extreme range, adding this would add another 5 dice. So your choices are, you either fire 2 at 9 or you fire 1 at 14. Now ordinarily you'd go, well, I'd fire 2 at 9, but you want to roll more dice in an attack in the hope of getting what they call, well, hopefully getting some exploding dice, because you've got to beat a set score. So you've got more chance of beating not only the armor value, but also the citadel value. So, for example, this will have a armor value of about 6. So for every 6 points of damage, you do 1 hit point. You reduce it by. Its citadel, I think, is about 13 or 14. So when you're rolling the dice, you want to get over 14 to beat the the citadel value, because then that allows you to roll a critical dice, which can have adverse effects on your ship. So magazine detonation is one of the favourite ones, or reactor leak, or locked helm. So basically it can't turn, it can only travel straight, which helps you then predict where it's going to be. So sometimes it's better adding your dice to them. So like the real big battleships, so like the Gloriana, for example, has like 4 of these heavy gun turrets on there. So you could theoretically do 1 at the full strength, and then each subsequent one adds another 5. So you will be firing 24 dice worth of dice. And then you roll them, because on there you get 1, you get 2, you get exploding results, then you have blanks, and shields 1 and shields 2. So as long as you're getting hits and exploding dice, which is good, the more exploding dice the better, because you get to re-roll them as in exploding dices. So sometimes, you know, the more shots don't pay off as well as having a combined attack. So that's what you really got to look at, really. Hey, Arnold, and Greg, and Dante. Hello. I've noticed that some of the enlightened weapons have higher support value than lead value, which is sort of amusing. Yeah, they've got to have some sort of some sort of thing that adds to their uniqueness. So not only can they throw orcas at you, I still find that bonkers. Oh, so whilst you're there as well, here is the Chiron. I know you've seen it everywhere, but that is the Chiron. So that is the Falkenstein. Just so you can see sizes, or obviously the Ganges, which is a battle cruiser. So I would say this is actually longer than the Gloriana. But you're working on your Gloriana at the moment, aren't you? So that is an absolute chunk of a ship. Look at it. Look at it. I love this. I love it. Absolutely freaking love it. So totally went inspiration from the box art, but also a little bit from like 2000 Leagues Under the Sea, Jules Verne, that sort of shenanigans. But it is such an awesome looking vessel with all its little subs underneath attached. So move you back. Hey, Badger! Badger ahoy! Yes, and exploding hits don't stop exploding until you fail to roll exploding. Yes, so that's good. Also, you do get certain factions where they have ablative armor, so they nullify. So if you rolled 3 exploding hits against a cruiser displacement, which is normally like mass 2, so they would get the first 2 exploding hits will only do 2 damage. Unless they're devastating, at which point they do 3 damage. But they don't explode, so you can't roll them again. So subsequent ones, you can. So yeah, it's sometimes certain ships are harder to actually take out because of ablative armors. So not all factions have it. Some might have it in limited numbers. Others, like the Commonwealth, which I find weird, is that the Commonwealth ships, they have a rule, quantity over quality. And their ships are meant to be slightly cheaper than other factions, but they have ablative armor. So they're more resilient in some respects. And they also, if you do sink certain classes of their ships, they get to roll a dice at the end of the turn. And if they roll an exploding hit, then they can bring a ship back. So they roll the amount of dice equal to the mass. So on a mass 2, they roll 2 dice. If they got 2 exploding hits, that's 2 ships coming back on. So it's like undying ships. And they also have railguns, and railguns are some of the best weapons in the system, because they're all extreme range, and yeah, and the minuses to your citadel as well. They're ridiculously good. I'm so getting one. Yeah, I don't blame you, mate. They are gorgeous. Not sure what happened, but somehow I've ordered a 3rd starter set tonight of Adeptus Titanicus. Yeah, you've got a long way to go. I ordered hundreds. It's giving steampunk Star Wars vibes. Yeah. I can see where you're coming from. That it is. The Chiron is such a gorgeous kit. It really is. Plus, which on my unboxing video for said kit, I love this because it's got the Chiron, you got 3 Euripides, which are these guys, so they come with the extra bits there, and 2 of their cruisers, which can be built in several persuasions and that. However, in the box, for every one of these, you get 3 of them. So you've got 2 of these sprues, so you've got 6 in total, but I only mentioned 3. So that happens quite a lot with War Cradle stuff. You actually find that a lot of the time you're getting slightly more than what's advertised. So it is good. It is good. I've had a starting roll of about 12 dice and ended up with 20 plus hits due to exploding dice. Yeah. It's like I even against the game against Phil a few weeks back when Dave Mini Wargaming Dave came down, I opted to do 2 individual shots instead of like going with lead dice. Pardon me. I went with 2, and both of them managed to break the citadel on the ships they were shooting, sort of thing. So it's like 7 dice each, and they were only sort of like frigate displacements, but you've rolled the dice, you know how fickle they can be. So yeah, it was a good result. Good result for me. I think that was against Rich, Benny, or Rob. Who's Benny? Oh, he must have been one of the other people that turned up. That was the first one, wasn't it? That was the August game, wasn't it? Get you, bug. So I missed you at Beach Headley, went down on Sunday. Yeah, I only go down for the Saturdays. So, because Saturdays are generally easier for me to get off work. So I was surprised to see that you were going down there. But you said we had other of the Titan dudes down there anyway, so apart from Phil went there. I'm still waiting for Phil to get back to us. I messaged him, phoned him. He cut short he cancelled the call and texted me back saying, sorry mate, eating, I'll call you back. And that was a week and a bit ago. Yeah, we've got this one in March. You're going to the one in March, aren't you? Phew! Oh, me. Hit the like button, peeps. Thank you, Arnold. I see you sneak in there, Gizmo. Evening, Doc. Chat and lurkers. You say hello to everybody. You can lurk, it's alright. No problem. Lurkers are fine. You've been playing Helldivers, haven't you, Gizmo? Oh, right, okay. That's fair. So I am interested in this campaign that Phil wants to be running. That sounds interesting. Although I still believe that as the crown, we should have hold of the of Malta and of Suez. I've dropped a 350mm Albany arty barrage on my own position just now. Well done! And you lived to tell the tale? That's impressive. Are you making up your own colour scheme or following instructions? I'm actually painting this similar to a friend of mine. Because I asked him for some like pictures of like what he's painted up. So I just remember it was a light grey scheme, and these bits were red. That's as far as it's going. So it's drawing from inspiration from a friend's existing fleet. Because I say, you do get like obviously some fantastic artwork books, pictures. Like they do all these like each month. You always get like free backgrounds for your PC or phone, I suppose, of like various ships that they're bringing out. So you know, it's the stuff that you see in the box art basically that they just put out into the wild. So it's a nice little thing. You know, that's the thing. I was talking. I can't remember who I was talking to now. I was speaking about dystopian wars with somebody, and I was just saying about like the rules and all that are, you know, free. Well, the Orbat, so all the tactic, the information for the ships is free online. But say generally, you just need to buy yourself even just a basic Battle Force box set, starter set, because you get all the tokens, dice, and gubbins, as they call it. So the measuring stuff, template things, firing art templates in there. Plus, you get like a flagship and a couple of sprues of ships. So, like the Crown, for example, starter set, you get a Britannia battleship in it. Now, it's about £45 for a starter set, but you've got, as I say, a resin battleship in there, plus a couple of sprues, which will provide you with a couple of cruisers at least, and some either frigates or destroyers on there, with some options, and all the gubbins. If you was buying the gubbins separately, that's 25 quid for like the rules box. So you get the rules book and the tokens and stuff. So basically, all you're doing is paying another like 19 quid, and you're getting a resin battleship and some cruisers, which you would be paying about 50 quid for anyway. Sorry. Sorry. Working on Plutonian Night 5 tonight, since the lady is working. Well, I'm sure you'll do a wonderful job with that. I think Luke and Rob are up for it. Warcraver says no on Sewage League. Go take it up with them. Rules are free. All bets are free. Match playbooks are free. 2-player boxes are also good if you have a friend to lure in, as you get 2 sets of cards and dice. Ah, right, that's cool. And the resin casts are really nice. Go for it, painting. Hello. Hi there, buddy. How are you? Plastic is decent. Well labelled instructions tell you which brew to find stuff on. And when I say labelled, I mean it says things like Enlightened Support Squadron or similar. And all their, like, you don't normally get the instructions in the box. They're all online. So they do get updated as well, because they do evolve the kits. So if you were looking at getting into Dystopian War, you're probably about the right sort of time, because there's been some like evolutions in the kit. So even though I've only been there in like a year almost, the crown kits, for example, like the Excalibur class heavy destroyer, came with like fixed weapon emplacements, but now you have options. So they actually are made, instead of being all in one, they've actually got a hole there so you can magnetize it and either have a, for example, turret mount like that. This is just a normal gun turret. These are the heavy ones. So you can have these, you can have these types of things, which are torpedoes, launchers on the deck, or anti-air sort of rockets, pods. So yeah, you've got lots of sort of options, weapons-wise. You've actually got, in a lot of cases, a lot more than you'd probably ever need, but it's good to have. I've given up on buying more Titans, as GW really need to get their act together. Yeah, I know, dude. It is ridiculous. But because of, and I've heard this, that basically because of obviously global conflicts and stuff, shipping has been sort of rerouted a little. So they're not coming through the Suez. So they're going around Africa, and that adds several weeks to transit. So yeah, it's the price that we pay for other people's invasions of other countries. But but hopefully things will fall into place, and then we'll have a excessive amount of toys. It's probably one of the reasons why the Great Slaughter was put back, because they was waiting for ships to actually come in, because everything is shipped over from China. Books are printed there, models are made. Well, a lot of them are. They do have obviously factory capacity over here, and I think they are looking at increasing that, but it all takes time. I keep saying that post-COVID they should have brought up production at UK printers and cardstock producers, as they were begging for work. Yeah, but unfortunately, you know what people are like. Sometimes they're a little bit stupid. It's foresight. I have foresight, and my boss knows that I keep on bagging on at him about certain things because I'm looking ahead. He thinks I've got an unhealthy obsession with racking in our store. It's not an unhealthy obsession, it's just that I can see things are getting busier and we're running out of space. So maybe it is prudent to get ahead of things. Friend in logistics that did haulage to and from the above. Also, the person who clued me in on GW stuff being the Ever Giving, hence the issues with Cursity. Agreed, Lee. Thank you very much. So you look to the future in terms of management. So you would say you are a commander foresight. I'm not going to confirm or deny that. Then our little escorts. Just realised Lee's painting Imperium / Rage Quit stream. Know thy enemy. To know thyself. Yeah, I could have. Well, I didn't want to be fair. I'm trying to find the ships that I liked the look of, and yeah, I didn't. For those who are interested, this music that he's playing is some sort of really long playlist of Dune-esque movies. That's tunage, I should say. So. That's good. It's, getting very distracted. Hey, Judge. See you sneaking in there. How are you? What are you up to? There was something that's been, again, ship related that has been cropping up on my news feed a couple of times the past couple of days. Is the, you might have seen it, it's about the Japanese battleship from the Second World War, the Yamamoto, and that, which was like the largest battleship ever constructed, I think, like 88,000 tons. Each of its main guns weighed in at 2,200 tons for it, which is equivalent to a certain class of US destroyer, I believe. So one gun battery, so one turret, was the same weight as a fucking ship. Appears I'm first. You are the first to claim first, so you are first. Very well, great job with the Audax walk. Great to see. I was pleased that we got, because it was only a short notice thing. That was literally 2 weeks that we spoke about it, and then quickly mentioned it to the Map and the Fire attendees, and they came in and 49 engines for Audax. Vast majority of them very similar looking, which is that's a very telling thing. Like when I was doing the Tyrannus Owners Club musters, which I haven't done one in several years because of COVID and all that sort of stuff, and been too busy since COVID to do one. But when they turned up, the consistency of colouring between all these different people from all over the place is pretty good, and people do their own, flourishes and different bits and pieces, but generally they're all in the same ballpark, unless they're painting blue Tyrannus, which some people have done. But yeah, with the Audax, there were a lot down there that looked very similar. There was probably 2 lots that one was totally different, but it was kind of cool in its own way. It was like red camo. It actually reminded me of my mate Dave Halfpenny's combat trousers he wears. But he wears these like red, grey, and black camouflage patterned trousers. The Yamato Star Blazers. Yamamoto was heavier than her sister by like 6 tons. Yes. No, yes, the Yamamoto, which was it was 88,000 tons displacement. But that's how you measure the weight of ships, is how much water it displaces. So it would displace 88,000 tons of water, I suppose. But yeah, that's by the by. Yeah, it was keeping showing up on my news feed. There's one 3-barreled turret weighing more than a freaking destroyer. It's impressive. You gotta give them that. But that was, the end of the battleships. It was the dawning of the aircraft carrier. Right. Has anybody been on to Masters of the Air yet? It's been interesting. New episode drops Friday. Actually, there was what was it? The Creator, Gareth Edwards' latest movie. Have to say, really liked it. It was different to what you expected, or what I expected at least, anyway. So yeah, definitely worth. Because I think it's on Disney Plus, free to watch. So definitely worth checking out. It was quite a good little story. Really should have brought in a hairdryer. But I have no hairdryer to hairdry. Yes. I'm planning to watch that. So glad you like it. Yeah, no, he's a good watch. I've been wanting to watch it. Yeah, I kind of remembered seeing it and seeing the trailer for it. I'll give that a go. And then totally falling off the radar. And I was literally just looking through to see what was out on sort of the various streaming services and stuff. I think what I was doing, yeah, that was it. I saw something on my news feed with Kurt Russell, and he was talking about dealing with bloody hell, Quentin Tarantino, like chatting with him, because Tarantino was really interested about old Hollywood and stuff like that. Because Kurt Russell's dad was also an actor and stuff, and he was talking about his stories that he passed on to him. And then Quentin basically asked him to read Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and then asked him pretty much on the spot, said, I really would like you to be in here as like, a little part, as a stunt coordinator sort of thing. And got him in there sort of thing. So I thought, oh yeah, I'd like to re-watch that, because I watched that when it sort of came out on streaming the other year and enjoyed it, and I thought I wouldn't mind watching that again actually. And unfortunately there's nowhere free to stream it, you have to buy or rent. And I thought, but as I was skitting around, I thought, oh, creator, I was thinking about that. Really did enjoy that sort of thing, the whole sort of universe for it. It's really cool. So yeah, you'll probably enjoy it. I enjoyed it, but then I'm easy to please. I don't put too much into things. Although, yeah, I know what is when things are shit, but I can tell the difference between a good film and a crap film, and I enjoyed it. So yes. Can't do much with that. What's that box? Yes. Right, I'm going to put that to one side because I can't do anything until it sort of dries anyway. Tiny ships. These are escorts. So with some of the bigger vessels, sort of like carriers and battleships, or even battle cruisers, you can have escorts alongside, which add to their defense and attack capabilities. Ugh. Oh, I'm feeling it. Yeah, for all my sins, I had to work today as well, so. I'm sure I actually sprayed it with primer, but I may have missed bits. And the problem is, because I use grey primer, you can't really tell if it's grey or not. Masters of the Air has been good so far. The Schweinfurt episode was rough, yeah. But I've been also listening to the We Have Ways podcast because they've been doing a Masters of the Air sort of mini series within. So it's like so far they've done like 6 episodes based on the exploits and goings on of the 8th Air Force, and yes, Schweinfurt, from what they were saying, was just like ridiculously bad. You know, I think the main thing is because they was all staggered. That's what really screwed them up, because it safety in numbers. The more of you know, in the air, and you're not all basically, you know, you're all going at the same time, so you've got a greater chance of surviving. But going in piecemeal like they did has a really adverse effect to your survivability. And the thing is, like where you're hearing about, oh yeah, it's 25 missions and all that, they put them up. They went up to 30, and then they went up to 35 just before D-Day. So imagine you are just entering your 20th mission, thinking I've only got 5 more to go, and then they bump it up to 30. You go, what? And I'm not sure, so don't quote me, whether or not if that was for new pilots coming in or existing, because they haven't found anything to say otherwise. So it could be either way. We just don't know. But yeah, Schweinfurt and Schweinfurt 2, they were calling it, were really harsh. But yeah, that's the thing. It's like where you've watched like Band of Brothers, for example. So this is the 3rd one that they've done. So you had Band of Brothers, you had the Pacific, and then you got Masters of the Air. So the main difference, because everybody loves Band of Brothers, the thing that Band of Brothers has over both the Pacific and Masters of the Air, in some respects, is that they're following one unit throughout the course of their existence during the Second World War, sort of thing. Yes, people die and all that, but it's generally you've got that whole unit there. With the Air War, with the Pacific, sorry, you're following several people in amongst several different units, so they're not all one thing. So it's little stories, and they're covering a vast arrangement of stuff. Loads of heroic people in there, with the exception of Lecky, the character who's like the one of the main focuses. But you're focusing on individual characters, not the unit as such, in a lot of ways. And then you've got all these other people in different units. So you can't really get invested into it as much because of how it's all, you know, being played out. And the same with Masters of the Air. Although you had some good sort of like known actors in big parts, due to the nature of daylight bombing, a lot of them died and were captured or shot down, tried to escape and that sort of stuff. So you form an attachment with a character, they could be dead, you know, or captured, and they're out the story. So it's like, okay. So as visually awesome, because it is pretty freaking awesome. You know, all those B-17s going over and like the machine gunners and stuff. And you know, I'm not giving away spoilers all that with it. It's harder to form an attachment. You've got the main two guys, Buck and Bucky, but again, it's not all about them. So yeah, the Luftwaffe's version of the Marianas turkey shoot. Yeah. Good night, I'm off to bed. Yeah, no worries, Arnold. Thanks for dropping by, and hope you enjoy your latest purchase of Titans once they turn up. Congratulations. A blue sky. Now, keep on humming that as well. Again, with the We Have Ways podcast, with the Mighty Eighth, as they were known, coverage, when they start getting in like the lightnings. Is it lightnings? It's lightnings. Well, definitely the Mustangs. See, the Mustang, which is like held in very high regard from in the Second World War, that was a plane that was being touted to be built for Britain and France sort of thing. The problem was it was a bit rubbish. Aerodynamically, the frame, brilliant, but it wasn't much cop. And then some bright spark from the RAF thought, you know what, this could fit a Merlin engine in it. And they stuck a Merlin, which is what powered Spitfires. And suddenly, that, you know, aerodynamically sound plane, which was slightly underperforming, got a whole new lease of life and was like freaking awesome. Like for its speed, its durability, and more importantly, range. And then they looked into doing disposable drop tanks, was something that the RAF had looked at during the 20s, but didn't think anything of it. But these drop tanks were made from basically lacquered paper to sell it, but it could double the distance. So these drop tanks were stuck onto these Mustangs. They could go to Germany and back, and even the far reaches of Germany and back, and doodle around for a little while doing fighter shit. But eventually, the Mighty Eighth was going up with like 1,000 bombers and like 500 pursuit aircraft. That's why it was like P designation was for pursuit. So they could fly all the way in to Germany and back again, and give support to the B-17s going over there, and any other bombers for that matter. Sounds a bit like my maths teacher who used to fly Phantoms in the RAF. His view was if you fit big enough engines to a brick, you can make it fly. Typhoon and Mosquitoes were in fact. Mosquitoes are really, really highly rated. Again, you learn so much from listening to We Have Ways podcast. Even they had interviews with this one guy called Colin Bell, who was a Mosquito pilot, and he everyone talking about mosquitoes were just yeah, it was the best thing ever. It had speed. Yes, it may have been made from wood, but it was fast. It was manoeuvrable. It had everything you wanted in a plane and more. There was even, and it's funny enough, there was reports went out for the Luftwaffe, is that if you saw mosquitoes, don't even bother engaging them. You've got no chance against them, because they were just too fast for them. We will have no slander of the Phantom, biggest distributor of MiG parts. That was the something I saw the other day. The Chinese air superiority fighter was basically a flanker, or the flanker advance. Was it MiG-29 or whatever it is? No, not MiG, isn't it? It's Su-31, I think. It's literally the same plane, and yet the Russians never sold them to them. That looks strangely like one of our planes. Wasn't the Merlin engine also on all the bombers too? Multiples of them. Yeah, you had the Merlin. You also had the later Griffin as well. And interestingly enough, Merlins were also in Sherman tanks because they were producing so many of them. And they're going, hold on a sec, if we just stick that in a tank, yeah, go on then. So there were tanks going around with Spitfire engines in because they had so many of them. There was an interesting thing they said about German war gear, like tanks and stuff like that, and armoured vehicles. Not that they had a lot. During the Blitzkrieg and going into France, they only really had one tank division sort of thing that was fully mechanized or whatever. The rest of the German army were traveling by foot and on horse. It's the main advantage that the Germans had in those early days of the Second World War was they had the communication nailed down. They had radio between units, so they could actually operate better and communicate with their high command, whereas the French, despite having a larger army, more artillery pieces, quite advanced tanks as well, their whole command structure was top heavy. So, once a report came in, it would have to get back to Paris where all the generals were, and then they would all argue about it, and then eventually they go, okay, this is what we're going to do. And by then it was too late. The Germans had already rolled through. The main failing of the French was that they didn't take command of the nodal points. So points of crossings and stuff like that. All they had to do really was hold certain areas and not ignore the fact that the Germans like to come through the Ardennes. 3 times They'd done it in the 1900s. They'd done it in the First World War, and they went, "Oh, there's Germans in the Ardennes." Oh no, there's not. They wouldn't come through there. That's too obvious. And lo and behold, they came through the Ardennes. He was also one of the few RAF Phantom pilots that had to bang out of one due to a fall. The one thing I love Phantoms as well. You know, the look of them back in the sort of like the 80s, the Phantom did look freaking mean. Was the difference between an American and a British Phantom. So whenever you was at an air show, you could always tell an American Phantom from a British Phantom, because the American Phantoms would trail black smoke behind the engines when the afterburners were on, whereas the British or European ones didn't. 3 Merlins in a motor torpedo boat as well. Yeah. The Griffin, that's right. Honestly, that makes sense. Make everything have the same engine. It's easier to sort the parts out. Yeah, so that's what I was trying to say. With the Germans, they recorded they had like 2,000 different types of vehicle, and the vast majority of them had different parts. Whereas, with the Allies, they went for universal sort of bit. So you could take that part that would go into a Sherman would also go into a Grant or what do you call it, Ridgewell sort of thing, or a Bradley, later on. So it was that sort of ability to be able to utilise the same parts and not have a huge logistical nightmare of having to have a Halfords with you. Hey, hello, Kiblams. How are you, buddy? What are you up to tonight? Plus, everything has probably the best sounding engine that has ever been made, so you make the war sound better in general. It's cool. Quite a lot of them assembled underground in the middle of Wiltshire. Never mind, you're saying it now. Okay. And again, when they launched the Battle of the Bulge, the real difference between the American Phantom and a British Phantom is the American one doesn't go round corners. The Merlin used in tanks was called Meteor, just detuned a bit. Gizmo, assuming that was the both increased range and also stopped Shermans from popping wheelies. It was our use of standardised parts that led to our superiority at sea in the olden times. Yeah. So, and that's the thing, it's like we had a massive naval presence with anyway, but yeah, as I say, just making everything work and not being scared to actually try something different. As I say, like the whole thing about about the Mustang, it was a airframe designed for the British and French as a sort of alternate fighter sort of thing. It didn't really have much of a purpose, but they just thought, "Oh, we'll design it for them." And then this one person is going like, "Wonder what happened if you put, that space there that's big enough. We could actually put a Merlin in it. Let's see what happens." And then it's just basically gone from, an airplane that's like, "Oh hi, I'm a plane. I look good," to "I look good, I sound good, I is good, I is bad." But again, it's like, from there you also got like the Tempest and the Typhoon as well, which again, lots of people love the Typhoons, as we heard earlier on with Dante. But again, like with the whole Masters of the Air thing, when they were increasing the amount of missions people had to do was because a lot of the missions they were doing were like literally just jumping across the channel. So not as dangerous as flying into, deepest, darkest Germany and the like, and back again. And plus, survivability was better because they were utilising fighter protection. So, like, you got the like the Tuskegee Airmen and stuff like that, but it was the using of lightnings and like Mustangs, that had the range to hang around with the bombers, because the bombers are an offensive plane, whereas fighters are a defensive plane. And what they also learned was that from the failings of the Luftwaffe is that you don't have the airplanes in close protection of the bombers. You have them with them, but at distance, normally higher up, and then they come in and deal with things. So, as I said, as they progressed, they got more and more planes. These big wings are going out, and like bomber streams and all that sort of stuff. But they've got half as many fighters, and they're going out there, and they're just literally, that's when they started gaining air supremacy, not just superiority but supremacy, because they had a better kit, full stop. Some bits were not quite interchangeable, but smart mechanics did make them work on occasions. Wartime ingenuity is like nothing else. Steal from officers' wire coat hanger, dip your Zippo in the deuce and a half fuel tank. Boom, no need for lighter fluid. Technically, all Merlin engines were property of the MOD. I know someone who bought a MTB to restore, and basically they had to tell him to return one of the engines. He realised that with 2 engines it was still too damn fast. I loved the idea that we leased tanks and then did engine swaps. Try that with a Honda dealer. I love that you can still buy new Merlin parts. That's the crazy thing. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You've got so many people, like, there's workshops where people are actually restoring like Spitfires and other aircraft sort of thing, and then sticking in Merlin parts and stuff. And plus, there was a lot of them that were made. There was like storehouses of parts that were just like left, unattended. So lots of stuff has been found and filtered back into the system, so to speak. You've got to look up if it's a 3D printable scale Merlin engine. There's got to be one out there. There's one on Colts 3D for free, Greg. See, there you go. Dante's in there. One of my books downstairs states that during one raid on Berlin, there was 2 Mustangs for every B-17. Yeah. That's the thing. It's like cruising into Germany. There was something I heard today that, the realisation that these aircraft have such vast range that one of these fighters that went down in like Eastern Germany, and Goering basically was put out. They said, "Oh, it's a fighter craft, sort of thing. A fighter has and he basically blamed on like Gulfstream had blown it there, not by it. So it didn't get there by its own volition. That he was actually carried by the wind." He just living in denial. And when they said that, I think James Holland just went, "How did these people not realise they were losing the war at this point? How could they not know? We've got fighters coming into Germany. Crazy." Awesome. I'll dig it up and I'm printing. Nudge. It's not good. Yeah, so you're chatting away for ages, and the little ships have been left unattended. Well, partly. They've got stuff. They've got stuff to be getting on with. Alright, I'm off for the night, people. Long day here. It's been a bit too much driving. Enjoy. No worries. Thanks for dropping in, buddy, for the chat and helping Greg realise his dream of owning a 3D printed Merlin. Sleep well. Nighty night. Get well from the lurgly. Yeah, hopefully. He's getting better slowly, but surely. Head is a little bit bunged up. And much like myself. There's less good chips. Aha, good news. My 1K old world game this weekend has been pushed back to next weekend. So I've got more time to play. Even better. You can perfect your methods and increase your nightly hosts. Ready for mucho slappy. Oh, bloody hell. Right, let's look at it. I'll give this a quick blast. It says. That's the wrong one. That's the right one. Thanks for being my Valentine's Day while the ladies work, you guys. Yeah, no worries, buddy. We've got you covered. Did I miss the beach roundup? Yeah, we'll say there was. See, with Beachhead, I didn't take part in the Titan Walk because at the time I was told that there wasn't space available. It was like all space was already taken up or whatever. So I was just focused on turning up, seeing what was going on at Maximal Fire, and had Johnny Core from Battle Bling. Basically, I've got his phone number now, so he was said, "Look, I want to play you. Let's get your people onto my people onto your people, and let's get this sorted out." So, right. So he's now a contact. So we'll sort that out at some point. The Beachhead Titan AT Titan Walk, which was basically for Leader Audax. We got 49 Warhounds and what do you call them? Direwolves assembled. It was quite a nice little turnout, and I say everything was pretty close. You know, there was I think there was only like one or two that looked decidedly different from like what you would normally associate based on the scheme, and like you know, it was nice to see these different variants all on show, and that's what it's about. And a lot of people are saying that we'll do more next year. We'll get more done. We'll get more done. So they want to do more of Audax. That's where the fun is. It's shaping up nicely. Very cool. Okay, don't judge, but does it float? But will it float? I don't know. It might do. Colours can be tricky, can't they? The Ataris are described as red and white and black, and most people, including myself, paint them bone. Yeah. You're always going to get these sort of slight variances and stuff, and how they look in the art books are totally different to other sources, and yeah, it's a pain. It's quite simply, it's a pain in the ass. Ooh. Can't wait to get my hands on some LI Land Raiders. I must admit. Yeah, same here. I want Land Raiders. That's my next, ones that I really want. Oh yeah, great. He wasn't here earlier on, so that bastard. The old big fish. It is a monster. Focus. It's a badass. Shall bid you all good evening, folks. 6 AM here. All too soon. That's a fault. Yeah, I've got that to do as well. Plastic kit was a rubber ducky buoyancy testing. That's science. That's high science. That is the guru. Something like 1,200, something like that. Scale wise. Stuart did say once. I may not have been paying attention. But that thing there, as I say, it's a major sort of flagship option for the Enlightened. That is bigger than, it is definitely bigger than the Crown's major battleship class, the Dreadnought. So it'd be nice if the blue worked. I think that's actually might be a bit out of blue. Glue, glue. Silicone. What I'm looking for. Woo. Oh, yeah. Going to head off now. Thanks for trying to do. No worries. Thank you for coming and hanging out for a little while. That's lovely of you. And to be fair, I'm probably going to be shooting off soon myself anyway. Yeah, it's the old snotlings. Yes. One more. Once more to the bridge. trouble seeing what I'm doing there. Whew. Oh, eyes upon eyes. So that's as far as we've got so far with the Falkenstein. We really should actually assemble the actual turrets that go onto this bit. So it's like little 2 missile pods on there. Or you can swap that out and pop in the little veering system. Yeah, so for the most part, you know, that's looking pretty good so far. So I think that's where we'll leave it for tonight, because eyes are failing me. So yeah, well, so just over 2 hours stream, so longer than I anticipated, because I thought I'd only last about an hour, but thank you for keeping me company and for helping me through this most terrible time of head cold shenanigans. But yeah, so Falkenstein is getting there for sure. So not to the same levels as the Cheon. The Cheon is just a beast, and it just looks so good as it is. But this has its place. Right. So yes, I'm going to bed. Thank you all for hanging out. Where is it this week? Saturday. Yes, should be back on Saturday. Saturday we shall be streaming from the usual 8 p.m. onwards. Yes. So I hope the rest of the week goes well for you, and I hope to see you all again on Saturday, right here, as always, from 8 p.m. GMT, +1 if you're in Europe, or -5 if you're on the east coast of the United States of the America. I hope you have a good couple of days of hobbying until I see you again on Saturday. So until then, my friends, happy sailing. And I'll catch up again with you all again soon, he says. Au revoir. Or, as the Imperium say, auf Wiedersehen. See you later.